Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it is time for my client Amrit's vlog. Amrit is late intermediate who we are rebuilding, although on some of his lifts he had gotten pretty close to advanced. He had gotten up to a 5 plate deadlift originally when I was coaching him for about a year before he went away and regressed. So, what we're doing now, he's come back, we're building up his work capacity because he's gotten completely out of shape. He's lost a little bit of strength, but he has no work capacity. He's out of shape. And this is something that was a problem for him historically, and we had to work on that. We had to fix it because he had been messing with very low volume reverse pyramid training. I had someone who had asked before, was he running kino body stuff? Yes. He was literally running kino body stuff when he first came on. And he was promoting himself the reverse pyramid stuff because he also has one of his businesses is a personal training business. So we had to fix all that. And what we're finding now that he's come back, his work capacity is really bad again. So he's really struggling to get into shape. So, and something we're noticing on his 10s when we do the 5x10s, he can't handle them. Some of them he can barely handle at 50% of his training max. But we started this week with just doing some fives. Wanted to do fives at 80% on everything, and then I'm going to put him back into a more traditional 5-3-1 type block after this week. Again, because his work capacity was so low last time. So I wanted to just do that and do some 5 rep sets and then get him used to doing 5 sets of 10. So his supplemental work, well, it was supposed to be goblet squats after squatting this week. But where he did his squats at, because he has a couple different places he trains at, he didn't have dumbbells, so he made up for it on his deadlift day with a belt squat machine. But bench press day, we did 5 reps, and then he did his 5x10, but he didn't get any of that on film. I need to talk to him about that. Amrit, you're going to watch this vlog. I need at least one of all of your 10 rep sets, right? I need at least one. Preferably give me 2 so that I can have different ones to pick from. That way we can mix into the vlog whatever we need. If we want a vlog, this is what we got to do, brother. So, back over to the point. He's struggling on the work capacity on everything but the benching. On everything but the benching. So we get over to squatting. We get over to overhead pressing. The work capacity is not there, although he's doing fine on deadlifts, interestingly enough. He's actually doing okay on the work capacity there. But in his case, his legs have got to come up, right? His legs have got to get bigger. They lack strength, they lack work capacity, and this is what's held his squat back. Because I think his best squat was like 160 kg. When I was coaching him before, that's the best he had ever hit. We're having to go way down on the training max because it's regressed a lot. But whereas we got his deadlift to 220, right? So basically 3.5 plates on a squat, in the metric system. They use slightly different weights than we do in freedom units, and a 5 plate deadlift. So the issue that we've run into there is that he just doesn't have the leg development. And we've got to bring his legs up. And if you guys notice, when we get to the deadlifts, we will notice that his legs are limiting his deadlift. He's all back, right? He doesn't use his hamstrings. He takes his hamstrings out of the movement to compensate for their weakness. And we will get to that when we get to the deadlift. But right now we need to get that work capacity up, particularly in his lower body. Right? We've got to get it into shape. And we've got to get size on his legs. We have to build work capacity in his legs in order for him to get that squat up. And that's what we're going to have to do, and that's going to require us to do volume. It's going to require us to do volume, and it's going to be a lot of volume. He's going to have to do those 5x10s. And for someone like him who has longer legs, right, who struggles with leg development, we're going to have to do supplemental stuff. That's going to be goblet squats, front squats, belt squats, things like that, in order to get that work capacity up. Now, he told me this week, the pressing went good. He felt good on the press as far as the heavy work, and then he gets over to the work sets for the 5x10, and he noted He's like, the first set was so easy it felt like speed work because he's run conjugate before. I coached him on conjugate in the past. And he's like, but by the time I got to set 4 and 5, I was completely running out of steam. So again, we're finding that there's a work capacity issue here. And this is something that we have to fix with him. We've got to get him into shape, right? We've got to get him into shape. And then after that, of course, he does rows and he does press downs, right? That's all we're doing on his 2 pressing days. We do benching, we do pressing, on the 2 separate days, and then we're doing rows and press downs at the moment. Again, for higher volumes, higher reps, leaving reps in reserve. But he noted the same thing on his rows this week. He's like, man, they're getting tedious. All right, on the deadlifting, watch what he does when he deadlifts. Do you guys see what I'm talking about with the compensation? See that low back rounding? Do you know why people do that? Weak hamstrings. Right? So we've got to fix that. His hamstrings are weak. Hamstrings are weak. And that is causing him to compensate that way. So we're going to have to fix that form over time of what he's doing so that his deadlift will get even higher. But we're going to have to build his hamstrings to go with it. Now the volume work on the deadlifts will help, but I very well might start having him do some Romanian deadlifts and stuff because, again, we've got to fix not only the hamstring weakness, but then the movement patterns that he's learned to compensate for it. But notice with that lower back rounding and basically his pelvis rolled under, that's a hamstring weakness. That is a form that people learn to use to make up for it. Right? It's a form they use to make up for that hamstring weakness. So afterwards, because he didn't do the goblet squats earlier this week, he used the belt squat machine, which I would really rather see on his squat day right now because we've got to get his legs into shape. We've got to get them into shape. But I digress. We'll deal with that in the next block. But again, he's doing belt squats because he has access to one, which you guys know I like this device. Even though I'm not currently using one in my training, I own one. I've invested in one. I like it. I often prescribe it to clients who have access to one, and right now he does. So, we might as well use it. But a lot of these things are largely interchangeable. A lot of my guys who need the extra work will do single leg exercises, belt squats, leg presses. It'll be based on what equipment they have available. Or as you guys have seen with guys like Garrett, we'll do the goblet squats. Right? And particularly longer leg guys, some of these things are the way to go. Right? To where we get away from putting a loaded barbell in their hands or on their back to squat for their supplemental work. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.